Good morning, my dear students. I hope I find you all in good health and good cheer. I hope you all are safe wherever you are under these circumstances. So, let me welcome you to another video on Arms and the Man, Act 2. So, in the last video, if you haven't watched it, I want you to stop this video and go and finish all the other videos. So in the last video, we saw that Act 2 is set in Petkoff House's garden. And we saw that Sergius, first Petkoff returned from war, and Petkoff and Catherine were talking with each other. Then Sergius has come back from war. And we see how Sergius is a perfect romantic hero, the very ideal of Rainer's imagination. And we see how he was denied promotion in the Bulgarian army because of the unprofessional nature of his cavalry charge. We saw all that. And then we see the reunion between Sergius and Raina. It is overly dramatic and romantic. And we are left with doubts about the true nature of relationship between Sergius and Raina. Then all four of them get into talking, and they are talking about soldiering and being in the battlefield, and how it is all about practicality and calculation of risks and all, rather than being romantic and idealistic. War is all about calculations. And then they discuss about a trader they met after the war. It is a Swiss officer working in the Serbian army. And in this particular context, Raina and Catherine, they are shuddering because they have a sense of who the Swiss officer it is. It is the very same officer who they rescued that night after the attack, after the Battle of Slivnitsa. Now they both get offended at the mention of the Swiss officer and how he was saved by the Bulgarian ladies. To which Petkov acts very coldly, and Sergius, ever the gentleman, he apologizes to both the ladies. And then Catherine and Petkov goes into the house, and Raina and Sergius are left alone for the first time, and they have reunited after many months. So we witness an overly dramatic and romantic exchange between both, which is quite sickening. They both are pretending to be romantic and somebody else. So we get the idea that their life is basically a lie. They are lying to each other and to themselves in this relationship. So they worship each other, they claim that they love and trust each other and all. So when Luca is approaching, Raina feels that she cannot keep up the act, so uh, she suggests that they could go on a walk, and she goes inside the house to grab a hat. Now, at the end of the last video, we stopped here with Luca coming into the garden and Sergius looking after Raina as she's walking away. Now, Sergius and Luca, they are left alone, and let's see where that conversation goes.
Luca, do you know what the higher love is?
No, sir.
Very fatiguing thing to keep up for any length of time, Luca. One feels the need of some relief after it.
Perhaps you would like some coffee, sir?
Why, thank you, Luca.
Oh, sir, I didn't mean that. I'm surprised at you.
I am surprised at myself, Luca. What would Sergius, the hero of Slivnitsa, say if he saw me now? What would Sergius, the apostle of the higher love, say if he saw me now? What would the half-dozen Sergiuses who keep popping in and out of this handsome figure of mine say if they caught us here? Do you consider my figure handsome, Luca?
Let me go, sir. I shall be disgraced. Oh, will you let go?
No.
Then stand back where we can't be seen. Have you no common sense?
Ah, that's reasonable.
He takes her into the stable yard gateway where they are hidden from the house. I may have been seen from the windows. Miss Raina is sure to be spying about after you.
Take care, Luca. I might be worthless enough to betray the higher love, but do not you insult it.
Not for the world, sir, I'm sure. May I go on with my work, please? Now?
You are a provoking little witch, Luca. If you were in love with me, would you spy out of windows on me?
Well, you see, sir, since you say you are half a dozen different gentlemen at all at once, I should be a great deal to look after.
Witty as well as pretty.
He tries to kiss her. No, I don't want your kisses. Gentlefolk are all alike. You making love behind Miss Raina's back, and she doing the same behind yours.
Luca,
It shows how little you really care.
if our conversation is to continue, Luca, you will please remember that a gentleman does not discuss the conduct of the lady he is engaged to with her maid.
It's so hard to know what a gentleman considers right. I thought from your trying to kiss me that you have given up being so particular.
Devil, devil.
I expect one of the six of you is very like me, sir, though I am only Miss Raina's maid.
Which of the six is the real man after all? That's the question that torments me. One of them is a hero, another a buffoon, another a humbug, another perhaps a bit of a blackguard, and one at least is a coward, jealous like all cowards. Luca,
Yes,
who is my rival?
you shall never get that out of me for love or money.
Why,
Never mind why. Besides, you would tell that I told you, and I should lose my place.
no, of an honor on the honor of a man capable of behaving as I have been behaving for the last 5 minutes. Who is he?
I don't know, I never saw him. I only heard his voice through the door of her room.
Damnation! How dare you?
Oh, I mean no harm. You have no right to take up my words like that. The mistress knows all about it. And I tell you that if that gentleman ever comes here again, Miss Raina will marry him, whether he likes it or not. I know the difference between the sort of manner you and she put on before one another and the real manner. Sergius shivers as though she had stabbed him. Then, setting his face like iron, he strides grimly to her and grips her about the elbows with both hands.
Now you listen to me.
Not so tight, you're hurting me.
That doesn't matter. You have stained my honor by making me a party to your eavesdropping, and you have betrayed your mistress.
Please.
It shows that you are an abominable little clod of common clay with the soul of a servant.
He lets her go as if she were an unclean thing and turns away, dusting his hands off her. And to the bench by the wall where he sits down with averted head, meditating gloomily. You know how to hurt with your tongue as well as with your hands. But I don't care. Now I've found out that whatever clay I am made of, you are made of the same. As for her, she's a liar. And her fine airs are a cheat, and I'm worth six of her.
Luca,
Okay.
Luca, a gentleman has no right to hurt a woman under any circumstances. I beg your pardon.
That sort of apology may satisfy a lady. Of what use it is to a servant?
Oh, you wish to be paid for the hurt.
No, I want my hurt made well.
But how?
She rolls up her left sleeve, clasps her arm with her thumb and fingers of her right hand, and looks down at the bruise. Then she raises her head and looks straight at him. Finally, with a superb gesture, she presents her arm to be kissed. Amazed, he looks at her, at the arm, at her again, hesitates, then with shuddering intensity exclaims,
Never!
and gets away as far as possible from her. Her arm drops. Without a word and with unaffected dignity, she takes her tray and is approaching the house when Rainer returns wearing a hat and jacket in the height of Vienna fashion of the previous year, 1885. Luca makes way proudly for her and then goes into the house. So, my dear students, in the last portion, we witnessed the meeting between Sergius and Raina. They are lovers, they are engaged to be married, and the meeting is quite awkwardly romantic and quite over the top. We got quite sickened by this meeting. And after Raina exits, Sergius looks to her like, just like in movies. What happens is when the heroine walks, the hero just looks at her walking figure. Right. So that happens here too. And then there is his movement shifts and his attention is captured by another woman on in the scene. That is Luca. So Luca has just entered the garden. He looks at her and he begins to, there is a difference, there is a change in his manners now. He start to twirl his mustache mischievously. So all of a sudden the gallant, the well-mannered Sergius disappears, and we see another phase of Sergius who is mischievous, who is a little bit of a flirt and all, and even his walk is changing here. So he's got a different kind of walk, and with a swagger he comes over to her and starts talking to Luca. So at first he asks Luca, do you know what higher love is? So I didn't mention about higher love in the last section. Raina and Sergius, they both claim to have found the higher love in each other. They say that ours is not a commonplace love. We both love each other so much that we both have found the higher love. സാധാരണ പ്രണയമൊന്നുമല്ല ഞങ്ങളുടെ എന്താണ് ഒരു മുന്തിയ ഒരു പ്രണയമാണ്. ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് എ ഹയർ ലവ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നു. ബട്ട് ദെൻ he asks Luca, what is higher love? Do you know what higher love is? And then he says that higher love is something very exhausting to keep up for a long period of time. For a little bit, you can bear with it, but you can't stretch it for a long period of time. പെട്ടെന്ന് മടുക്കുകയും നമ്മളെ തളർത്തിക്കളയുകയും ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു സംഭവമാണ് higher love. And then Luca very innocently offers him coffee. Maybe you could have some coffee. That way you can, ward off your exhaustion and fatigue. So here we get the proof that Sergius was also putting up an act with Raina. Like earlier when Luca was about to come in, Raina said, I can't act unaffectedly in front of Luca. So we understood that Raina was acting with Sergius. Her love for Sergius is not real. It is actually fake. Now we get the proof that Sergius was also putting up an act. Because the minute Raina disappears and Luca enters, there is a change in his attitude and mannerisms. Then even through Sergius's words, he says that higher love is very exhausting and fatiguing to keep up for a long period of time. So through his words, we can understand that the act of higher loving is just like a charade. So like Raina, it actually exhausts Sergius too. He is also equally tired by it. So Luca offers him coffee. So instead of grabbing the coffee, Sergius grabs Luca's hand. See what happens here? She gives him coffee and he grabs her hand. And Luca objects at first. She is showing shock at first. She says, don't do that, please. I did not mean that. I'm surprised at you. And Sergius says that even I am a little shocked and surprised because, and then he reveals that within himself there are multiple selves. അയാളുടെ ഉള്ളിൽ തന്നെ പല Sergiusമാര് ഉറങ്ങിക്കിടക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. He says that he know at least about half a dozen Sergiuses who keep popping in and out of himself. ഒരു 6 personalities എങ്കിലും ഇയാൾക്കുണ്ട്. Like one of these personalities is Sergius, the apostle of higher love. One of those Sergiuses is the Sergius who loves Raina so much that it is a higher love. And that Sergius would be shocked to see that Sergius is grabbing the hand of a maid, this very same maid who works for his lady, Raina. So he says that his other selves would think less of him if he knew his actions. So this is a turn of events. Why did Sergius grab Luca's hand? Is there something going on between them? Was there a relation between them even before he went out for war? So there is a suggestion that there was an ongoing relationship of flirtation between them. They might have the habit of flirting with each other before he went for war. Anyway, Luca objects at first. Luca says, "Let me go, sir. I shall be disgraced." എനിക്ക് പേരുദോഷമാണ്, ഇത് ആരെങ്കിലും കണ്ടു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ പ്രശ്നമാണ് എന്നൊക്കെ പറയാൻ. Sergius doesn't let go of her arm. And then Luca says, "Then stand back where we can't be seen. Have you no common sense? So if you don't want to let go of my hand, let's move to some place where nobody sees us." ഇവിടെ എല്ലാവരും കാണുന്ന രീതിയിലാണോ കയ്യിലൊക്കെ പിടിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് നിൽക്കുന്നത്? Let's just move to the side so that we can be at ease, so that nobody would see us. So although Luca objects to physical proximity at first, she herself suggests that we should be cautious and move to where we won't be seen. So that is actually confirmation that there was a relationship going on between Sergius and Luca behind Raina's back. So let's see. So these people, they move to the side of the stable yard gateway. So they are hidden from the house now. So anybody who looks out of the window or door of the house, they can't see Sergius and Luca at this point of time. Now let's see what happens between Sergius and Luca once they are totally alone and they are with each other now. First of all, Luca suggests that Sergius took a risk grabbing Luca's hand because Raina obviously might have spied on them from the window. Raina പോകുന്ന വഴിക്ക് ജനൽ വഴി ഇവരെ ഒന്ന് നോക്കിക്കാണും. Now Sergius is really shocked at this accusation. Sergius says that this is outrageous. He can't believe that. He says that I am cheap, but I don't believe my love, my higher love, that is Raina, would stoop as low as spying on me. Now we get the idea that Luca knows more about Raina than Sergius. Luca knows that Raina is someone who would spy on people. Even earlier, we saw that Petkov, when Petkov arrived and Sergius arrived, Sergius was asking about Raina, and at the very second Raina announced herself. So Raina actually has a habit of spying on people and making appearances and all. Catherine knows about it. Now it is revealed that even Luca is aware of this habit of Raina. So Luca is very certain that Raina must have spied on them. But Sergius has a very idealized view about his betrothed Raina. Sergius is sure that Raina will not do anything of the sort. Now Luca, Sergius warns Luca, "Take care, Luca. You can't do that. You can't say such things about Raina." And Luca says, "So may I just go to work? So if you don't want to listen to me, may I just continue working?" Now Sergius now grabs Luca. He puts his arm around her. അവളെ കെട്ടിപ്പിടിച്ചിങ്ങനെ നിൽക്കുവാണ്. Then Sergius says, "You are very provoking, Luca." And then he asks a trick question. "If you were in love with me, would you spy me out of the windows on me?" നീയാണ് എന്നെ പ്രേമിച്ചിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ നീ എന്നെ സ്പൈ ചെയ്യുമോ എന്ന് ചോദിച്ചതിന് ലൂക്ക വളരെ വിറ്റി ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു റെസ്പോൺസ് ആണ് കൊടുക്കുന്നത്. ലൂക്ക says that, "Well, you yourself say that there are at least 6 of Sergiuses inside you. So how can I trust you? So I will have a great deal to look after." 6 Sergiusമാരെ ഒന്നിച്ച് ഹാൻഡിൽ ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ ഞാൻ അത്യാവശ്യം സ്പൈ വർക്ക് ഒക്കെ ചെയ്യേണ്ടി വരും. So it is revealed that Luca possesses wit in addition to being pretty. She is pretty and witty. So in many ways we can see that Luca is actually a better match for Sergius than Raina. Then Luca once again steers the conversation back to the true nature of Raina. So Sergius tries to kiss Luca. And Luca says that, "No, I don't want your kisses because I don't believe you gentlefolk. You upper class people are all the same. You are flirting with me behind Raina's back. And Raina is also unfaithful to you." Now this is too much for Sergius. Sergius is outraged now. Sergius says a gentleman does not discuss the conduct of his lady he is engaged to with her maid. Sergiusന് അത് തീരെ പിടിക്കത്തില്ല. കാരണം Sergius എന്ത് വേണമെങ്കിലും ചെയ്യാം, പക്ഷേ റൈന ഇങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യും അതപ്പതിക്കും എന്നൊന്നും Sergiusന് സങ്കല്പിക്കാൻ പോലും പറ്റില്ല. And Sergius decides to put Luca at her place. He reminds her again that you are just a maid. You can't talk about a lady like Raina to me. I am engaged to her and you can't talk ill about her. So this is a turn in conversation and there is this accusation Luca made that both Raina and Sergius are unfaithful to each other. Now this accusation is too much for Sergius. Anyway, Sergius once again says that Sergius is outraged. Sergius actually calls Luca devil at this point. The devil. And then Luca says, anyway, there are six of you, and at least one of those Sergius is like me, and I am only Raina's maid. And Sergius reveals that, yes, again, there is at least six Sergiuses inside me. The Sergius in the Ullila, there is a tug of war. He doesn't know exactly what his personality is. Is he a hero? Is he a gentleman? Is he well mannered? Or is he rugged? Or does he want to live his life according to his own terms? Does he want to live a life without showing off and without pretensions? So Sergius has this multiple personality problem inside him. There is this constant tug of war of identities inside Sergius. He once again expresses the agony of having these multiple selves. തോന്നുന്നത് പോലെ ജീവിക്കാനുള്ള സ്വാതന്ത്ര്യം സെർജിയസിനില്ല. കാരണം സെർജിയസ് was born in an upper class family, so there were certain expectations from him to behave in a certain way, to get married to an upper class lady, and not to flirt with servants of the household. So we can see that he is undergoing an agony because he has to keep up appearances for the approval of society, and this is actually troubling Sergius much. Now he actually demands Luca to reveal who is enticing Raina behind his back. Who is his rival? ആരാണ് റൈനെ കറക്കിയെടുക്കാൻ നോക്കുന്നത്? Now the conversation is forced to be directed towards the Swiss man. Now we know that this man who is making love to Raina behind Sergius's back is the Swiss man who came to Raina's room on the night of the fusillade. Okay. And Luca at first says that no, I won't say. You shall never get that out of me for love or money. Why? Because if Luca reveals the identity of the man, she might actually lose her job in the household. Nicola actually warned her about this happening anyway. But then Luca says that she doesn't really know who the man is. She never saw him. She only heard him through the bedroom door, through Raina's bedroom door. Now, this is a situation which leads to complication. Now, Sergius is outraged beyond control. He can't even think that Raina, a lofty, a lovely upper class lady, would bring anybody, a strange man, to her bedroom. Now, this is beyond understanding for Sergius. And Luca once again claims that he wants Luca again. Now he says, no, I won't believe it. I know that that's not true. But anyway, Luca says that Raina and the strange man, they have a more realistic match than Raina and Sergius. And if that strange man ever comes back to this house again, I am sure that Raina will marry the strange man. And then she says something. Luca says something. She says, I know the difference between the sort of manner you and she put on before one another and the real manner. Now, even earlier, we had certain doubts if the audience had certain doubts if the relationship between Raina and Sergius is a fake one. Now, through Luca's words, it is confirmed that the relationship is indeed a fake relationship. They are both acting with each other. They don't have the real world love towards each other. Now, Luca, she is shown to be intelligent and observant. She observes people around her and she makes her assumptions. So she has been observing the manners of Raina and Sergius towards each other. She understood that it is over the top, it is extremely dramatic and romantic, and she knows that it is not real. Whereas the strange man and Raina, they had a more real relationship, although it lasted only for one night or a part of a night. Now Sergius is enraged at this suggestion. Sergius becomes very angry at this point. Sergius grabs Luca's arm tightly. He is actually hurting Luca at this point of time. He says that you have stained my honor by gossiping about my Raina. So he becomes very angry and he's physically manhandling Luca at this point of time. And he even hurts her with words. He says that shows you are an abominable little clod of common clay with the soul of a servant. Now this is extremely hurtful for Luca, because even though Luca is a servant, she has a certain pride that is characteristic of her. She doesn't want to be put in her place as a servant. And earlier she said to Nicola that she doesn't possess the soul of a servant. Now these words have hurt Luca a lot. Now Sergius, when we first saw him, he was full of gallantry and manners and everything. Now we see all that shattered and he is misbehaving with a woman. That doesn't feel like the image of an ideal romantic hero. So that ideal romantic hero image is shattered now with Sergius manhandling Luca. Now Luca is hurt beyond measure, both with Sergius's actions, because physically she is hurt. It has made a mark. She's got a bruise. ഒരു ചതവുണ്ടാവുന്നു. Sergius വളരെ ഇറുക്കി അമർത്തി പിടിച്ചതുകൊണ്ട് ലൂക്കയുടെ കയ്യിൽ ഒരു ചതവുണ്ടാവുന്നു. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ Sergius's words has actually hurt Luca beyond measure. She is in tears now. She's both angry and she's sad too. She says, "You know how to hurt with your tongue as well as with your hands. I don't care. Now I have found out that whatever clay I am made of, you are made of the same. As for her, she's a liar and her fine airs are a cheat and I'm worth 6 of her." She says that she is better than both Sergius and Raina. She is worth 6 of Raina's in quality and value and worth. I am much better than Raina, even though I am a common servant. And this actually, Sergius actually realizes his mistakes now. Sergius says, "Luca, I am really sorry. A gentleman has no right to hurt a woman under any circumstances." And Sergius asks for forgiveness. Sergius says, "I beg your pardon. I am really sorry." But now Luca says that, "I don't want that kind of apology. I want a different kind of apology. I am just a servant. I am not a lady. So you can't say sorry to me as if I am a lady. I want a different kind of apology." So what is this kind of apology? Now what Luca does is Luca rolls up her sleeve. At first Sergius thinks that Luca wants money because she was hurt. She wants money. കാശിന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണെന്ന് വിചാരിക്കും. പക്ഷെ ലൂക്ക ചെയ്യുന്നതെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ലൂക്കയുടെ സ്ലീവ് റോളപ്പ് ചെയ്ത് ആ പാട് കാണിച്ചു കൊടുക്കും. The mark where Sergius hurt her. And she demands to be kissed by Sergius. So that is problematic, because if Sergius kisses Luca, Sergius will be putting Luca and Raina in the same position. Like he will be giving a maid and a lady the same position. അവർക്ക് രണ്ടുപേർക്കും ഒരേ സ്ഥാനം കൊടുക്കുകയാണ് in the society. And Sergius denies that. Sergius looks at her arm, and he says, "Never, I will never kiss you." That means that he will never treat her like a lady. He would never give Luca the status of a lady by kissing her. Kissing is actually, it is an action which you do for an equal. You don't kiss your servants. You kiss your lady, or you kiss somebody who is higher up in society than you. So Sergius denying Luca a kiss, that means that he treats her like filth here. Now Luca is really hurt, but she is still proud now. Luca goes into the house. She takes the tray and the cup and all, and she doesn't say any word, and she has a dignity and pride in her manners, and she goes into the house. As she goes into the house, Raina comes out of the house. So that brings us to the end of the conversation between Sergius and Luca. It revealed a lot of information about the ongoing drama. First of all, it revealed that Sergius and Luca, they were having a flirtatious relationship, and it is also revealed that the true nature of Sergius and Raina's relationship is fake. They are actually faking it with each other. And Luca reveals about the presence of a strange man in Raina's bedroom. This is too much. This accusation is too much for Sergius. Sergius manhandles Luca, and this is not, it is unbecoming of Sergius's status as a romantic hero. But he tries to apologize, but Luca wants a rise in her position by being kissed by Sergius, and he denies it. So that brings us to the end of this part, and let's see what happens between Sergius and Raina now that Raina has come out. I'm ready. What's the matter? Have you been flirting with Luca?
No, no. How could you think such a thing?
Forgive me, my dear, it was only a jest. I'm so happy today. He goes quickly to her and kisses her hand remorsefully. Catherine comes out and calls to them from the top of the steps.
I'm sorry to disturb you, children, but Paul is distracted over those three regiments. He does not know how to get them to Philippopolis, and he objects to every suggestion of mine. You must go and help him. Sergius, he's in the library.
But we are just going out for a walk.
I shall not be long. Just wait for me for 5 minutes.
I shall go around and wait in the full view of the library windows. Be sure you draw father's attention to me. If you are a moment longer than 5 minutes, I shall go in and fetch you, regiments or no regiments.
Very well.
Now Raina watches him until he is out of her sight. Then, with a perceptible relaxation of manner, she begins to pace up and down the garden in a brown study.
Imagine their meeting was West and hearing the whole story. The very first thing your father asked for was the old coat we sent him off in. A nice mess you have got us into.
The little beast.
Little beast? What little beast?
To go and tell. Oh, if I had him here, I'd cram him with chocolate creams till he couldn't ever speak again.
Don't talk nonsense. Tell me the truth. Reina, how long was he in your room before you came to me?
Oh, I forget.
You cannot forget. Did he really climb up after the soldiers were gone? Or was he there when the officers searched the room?
No. Yes. I think he must have been there then.
You think, oh Reina, Reina, will anything ever make you straightforward if Sergius finds out it's all over between you?
Oh, I know Sergius is your pet. I sometimes wish you could marry him instead of me. You would just suit him. You would pet him and spoil him and mother him to perfection.
Well, upon my word,
I always feel a longing to do or say anything dreadful to him. To shock his propriety, to scandalize the five senses out of him. I don't care whether he finds out about the chocolate cream soldier or not. I half hope he may.
and what should I be able to say to your father? Pray?
Oh, poor father, as if he could help himself. She turns the corner and passes out of sight.
Only if you were 10 years younger.
So after Sergius's encounter with Luca, Luca has gone into the house. Now Raina comes out of the house. She has come back with her hat and jacket, so they are getting ready to go on a walk. Now Raina very playfully asks Sergius if he was flirting with Luca. If Sergius was flirting with Luca. Now Sergius, although he was really flirting with Luca, he acts shocked at the accusation. How can you even say such a thing? And then they make up and they decide to go for a walk. Now this is an exchange in which show reveals the hypocrisy of upper class society lovers. Raina obviously spied on them from the window. That is why she might have noticed that something was going on between Luca and Sergius. And Sergius, although he did flirt with Luca, he denies it. So this is an example of upper class hypocrisy. Then at that moment, Catherine enters. Now Catherine wants to get Sergius into the library because Major Petkov wants Sergius's help in a military mission plan. That is, he wants help to find a route to send three regiments of army to Philippopolis. So he can't figure it out himself and he keeps rejecting Catherine's ideas. So she has come for Sergius. Now Sergius has to go. So this is another turn of events. Now we find the mother and daughter alone. So Raina once again, as Sergius has to go inside, she once again puts up an act. She acts like she is impatient. She says, "But we were just going out for a walk. I was so eager to go on a walk with this guy. Why are my parents taking him away from me?" Anyways, but as Sergius goes inside, Raina even promises that 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, you have to come out, even if you have finished the plans or not. And I will walk in front of the library window. I will make sure that I capture my dad's attention. So he will let you go. And even though they put up this act and all, as Sergis leaves the scene, we can see that Raina is obviously relaxed. Till then, Raina was using up all her energy, putting up an act of being excited around Sergis. But as Sergis has left the scene, in Raina, we can actually see an obvious relaxation of man. So this is yet another proof of the hypocrisy of their relationship and how their relationship and encounters are so fake. Okay. Now, this is finally a chance for Raina and Catherine to be alone since both the men, Sergis and Petkov, arrived. So, we saw Sir Petkov arriving first, and then Sergis came. And then, when they had a discussion, they mentioned about the Swiss officer they met in the army, in the Serbian army. Now, the Raina and Catherine, they never had a chance to speak alone about the Swiss officer because they have their doubts if the Swiss officer is the same. It is actually the same officer because they even mentioned, the men even mentioned how two Bulgarian women saved him and they entertained him in the young woman's room, and then they saved him by disguising him in the old coat of the master of the household who was away at war. So Catherine and Raina know that the story is about them and the Swiss soldier, but they never got a chance to communicate about this before because a lot of things were going on in between because men keep entering and exiting and all. So for the first time, they come together and communicate about the presence of the Swiss officer and how the Swiss officer met both the men, Petkov and Sergis. So Catherine and Reina, both of them are angry at the Swiss officer because he went ahead and told about the whole story about how they saved him, although he didn't reveal any names. But Catherine is really angry with the Swiss man, but Raina, she is not that angry. She has a very tender air about her anger. ദേഷ്യപ്പെടുമ്പോഴും കുറച്ച് സ്നേഹത്തോടെയാണ് ദേഷ്യപ്പെടുന്നത്. ഷീ ഈവൻ കോൾസ് ഹിം ലിറ്റിൽ ബീസ്റ്റ്. ഓ, ഒരു കള്ളച്ചർക്കൻ എന്നൊക്കെ പറയത്തില്ല. So she calls him a little beast. Catherine is really shocked at Raina's manners, how Raina is calling him little beast and all. Now Catherine has her doubts. How long was this officer in Raina's room that night? For Raina to be this tender and loving and adoring towards him, how long were they alone in the room? And Raina said, "Oh, I forget. I don't know how long he was there." And Catherine wants to know if the man was in her room when the Russian officer searched her room. But even to that, Raina says, "I don't remember. He might have been there. I don't really remember." Now, Catherine warns Raina. So, why does Catherine want to know all these details? Because she wants to know that if there is any room for any scandalous activity between her daughter and the stranger, because she wants to know if something happened between them, if they, had any relationship or something like that. Now, Catherine gives a warning to Reina. She says that you have to be straightforward. Because if something about your involvement with the Swiss man is made public, it will affect your engagement with Sergis. Your engagement will be broken. So the mother gives the daughter a warning about that. And Raina brushes off it all. Raina says, "Oh, I know Sergis is your pet. I really." Raina reveals something. Raina says that I often feel like I want to shock Sergis. Sergis has such perfect manners and everything and pretensions and all. I feel like I should shock Sergis. Sergisന് ഒരു ഉഗ്രൻ ഒരു ഷോക്ക് കൊടുക്കാൻ എനിക്ക് പലതവണ തോന്നിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. I just want to shock him and knock the senses out of him. And I don't really care if he finds out about the chocolate cream soldier. So she doesn't really mind even if Sergis comes to know about the Swiss man whom she hid in her room. Now Raina is definitely tired with the pretension she is keeping up in the relationship with Sergis. Somehow she wants it all to end. In a way, she wants it all to end. That is why she doesn't mind even if Sergis comes to know about the Swiss man and her encounter at night. Now, Catherine is quite shocked at this. Catherine says that, "What are you saying? What about your father? Have you thought about your poor father? He would be scandalized and shocked too if he comes to know about it." Now, Raina is a little bit concerned, but she still ignores it, and she leaves the scene. Now Catherine is really exasperated. മതിയായി Catherine ഈ പെണ്ണിനെ കൊണ്ട്. Catherine പറയുന്നു, if she was 10 years younger, I could have managed her somehow. So Raina, anyway, we can see that Raina is a little bit tired with keeping up with the act and pretension and everything. She shows a preference for reality after the encounter with the Swiss man. So before meeting the Swiss officer, Raina was very dreamy and romantic. She lived in a romantic and ideal world. But after the encounter, there is a certain change in Raina. Now she wants to come to practical and realistic life. Now she has a preference towards it, and for that, and she doesn't mind breaking the truth to Sergius even. And for Catherine, this is a little risky. This is again a picture of the hypocrisy of upper class. So both the mother and daughter, they must have pretended to the men at some points in their life. So that shows hypocrisy of upper class society. Now Raina exists. Catherine is alone on the stage. Now Catherine is interrupted by Luca. So Luca is bearing news. She is going to tell something very crucial, and we will find out what that news is in the next video. So let's stop the video here, and I hope it was beneficial for you. Thank you so much for your attention throughout the lesson, and have a wonderful day ahead. Bye.